She's normally up against some of the better operators going around in free-for-all. So if there's any greyhound in this race who's going to take advantage by the conditions of the contest, it's got to be her. Yeah,
as Mick said, she's been really well placed coming out of, a Grafton Cup, and then drops back here to a females only mixed 4-5 around the city and drawn close to the fence. So she's certainly well placed by Team Delbridge.
Thanks, Tim. And we're just chatting then on Sky Racing Active. We're happy to take on this greyhound who opened favourite and fluctuating as the favourite, number 1, Deadly Cool. She wants to get to that middle part of the track. So from our point of view, box 1 isn't exactly perfect for the way she goes about her business. So considering that, boys, firstly you, Nathan Rooney, which one are you going to take her on with?
I went with Poor Zuri, the dog drawn exactly next door to her. I think Deadly Cool might be able to beat it out, and Poor Zuri might get the rails run to suit for itself, coming back from a Grafton Cup win to a mixed grade 4 and 5 race here. Looks really well placed by Team Delbridge. 6 in for second. Porzana racing really well, and down the middle of the track's exactly where it wants to be. 1 and 8th, 3rd and 4th, but I thought Poor Zuri looks really well placed here.
So Nath with the 2. Duck, you were looking towards the outside part of the track.
Yeah, I like Porzana here. I reckon she's really well suited out wide. That empty box to her outside is a massive plus. She's just got to clear Poor QWERTY, but if she gets that pattern out in front on the crown of the track, she held off to Want a Family here 2 starts back, and then last start she was in the hottest of hot heats in the Maturity Classic. I just think Blackpool Winter and She's Prime could bottle up Poor Zuri and Deadly Cool in that early stages. So I'm just looking for a greyhound who's going to be out in space, and that's Porzana, 6, 8, 2 and 1.
All right, 2 and 6. The boys are opting with to take on the red in Deadly Cool. Here's James Vandermaat for the 4th on Maturity Night.
Deadly Cool is the second elect behind Poor Zuri, who's back from a little holiday up at Grafton. Second in a heat of the Cup before winning the Grafton Cup last Wednesday. Back to the Meadows and back to an inside draw, which she absolutely adores and excels from. She does love it here as well. Last few going in. Start's going to be important for these 2 favourites. They're set to go race 4, the green light. They're ready at the Meadows. Stand by for a jump. Set. Racing, Poor Zuri only fair. Deadly Cool went out fast, does want to shift up the track, and She's Prime's going to come across and lead. Deadly Cool's trying to hold up second, now gets to clean air, and here she comes after the leader. 2.5 to Poor Zuri, then Poor QWERTY. A break of a length, Blackpool Winter and Porzana at the end. She's Prime the leader. A sitting shot now for Deadly Cool, who starts to pick up the revs, and Deadly Cool speeds to the lead upon turning. Put a length on She's Prime. Poor Zuri whacks away, but Deadly Cool's coming clear. Deadly Cool too good by 3. Dashes home to beat Poor Zuri, and third's close. It'll be She's Primed over Porzana, who finished with a flurry. Then Poor QWERTY and Blackpool Winter last in. Class prevails, 30-11 the time.
Deadly Cool wins, and Justin Nolan. The draw's never perfect for her down towards the inside, but sometimes she's just good enough to overcome it, isn't she?
She just wants to use a bit of the track. Normally jumps better from the inside though, so then once she gets to the front, she's not too bad.
Now, you've experimented over 600 metres, I think, with her. Is that something you might look to do more of in the future?
Yeah, we will, for sure. For sure. I reckon she's strong enough. She just needs everything her own way. That's all. Just get left alone and she goes all right.
And I can't leave you without asking about the big boy, the star in Wrongly Accused in the Maturity tonight. I'm sure everything's going to plan this week, given he's here. So you must be just soaking up the atmosphere of being the favourite in a big Group 1 here at the Meadows.
Yeah, look, he's had a good week. Probably I haven't. Bit nervous, but look, hopefully he just gets around with a clean rack and we'll see.
What's something you do to calm down?
Just have a beer, mate.
Don't we all? Good luck, mate. Good job.
Thanks, buddy.
Justin Nolan there, guys, after Deadly Cool. Overcome what looked to be a pretty awkward draw and wins the 4th of Maturity Night.
Thanks for that, Jace. Yeah, super win there to Deadly Cool. She just got to that outside. You know, she used box 1 well there in the sense that she just got to the outside a little bit earlier than anticipated. Probably Porzana and Poor QWERTY both didn't begin as well. They weren't to be seen there, really. She's Prime was the only one who you can really say did what it usually does early, and then all of a sudden that space was there for Deadly Cool. Hooked out. Once she got to that crown of the track 3 wide there in horse racing parlance, that was what suits her, and she didn't burn that much energy in the early part of the race, so she was always going to hit the line strongly, Nate.
4.99 She's Prime was most probably the deciding factor because she's cleared them quite easily, which has allowed Deadly Cool to move up, as we can see on the behind shot there. Mick, she's been able to get exactly out to where she wants to be with only one dog in front of her and nothing around her in that early stages. So I think that was the key, the small field, the tearaway leader, out to where she wanted to be. As Justin said, she's been up over 600. She's going to be strong at the back end, and she was able just to get the clear unimpeded run from a box one. Her box one record reads really well on paper with 3 wins from 4 goes there, even though she doesn't want it. But yeah, I think the key factor to me on analysing that race was the beginning of She's Prime. 499 was able to clear out, and in the small field, if you can get some space, that allowed Deadly Cool to manoeuvre to that middle part of the track. As we touched on, we thought it might have been a little bit hairy getting there, but it got there quite easily. And once it did, and coming through the catching pen into a clear second with She's Prime out in front, you knew she was going to be much stronger than that greyhound in the run to the line. So too good there. Poor Zuri missed the kick, which I kind of was anticipating, and got the rails run through, but just had Deadly Cool in front of it and was never going to be able to pick up a strong greyhound like Deadly Cool. And really good start to the Nolan Kennel for the night, Jace. I'll be hoping that the run continues come race 8.
100%. Who knows what's possible for their camp tonight, of course, with Wrongly Accused, the even money favourite in the maturity final later on tonight. And we briefly discussed her capability over 600 metres. Do you think she's going to excel when she does step up more consistently to that distance, when we do potentially get to a series like the Hume Cup later on this year?
Interesting. She's had the slowest, that race run home only in 12.25, and I know she was a little bit off the leader, but considering the early races are running home in 12 dead and that, it doesn't scream like a 600 metre greyhound, but she has got the speed, and them corner starts, when you want to push off the track, you're already halfway out there. So the racing style on them quarter bends might certainly suit her, but she's most probably, for me, off the top of my head, I'd be heading to somewhere like Ballarat and going to an enduro series over 550 on the corner start. I think that might be a little bit more in her forte than maybe 600 against some of the big boys, but she can continue to improve over time, and she's had that grounding, now drop back. She's ready to push forward in the next preparation to 600 and beyond. Yeah,
she's only tonight was only her 21st start as well. It feels like she's been around a bit longer than that. So often some of these greyhounds don't hit their straps till they're 30, 35,